Here's two examples of how to get a phased out VST into a proper stereo. First example. First off, you want to grab any analyzer plugin that can show mid and side. For this example, I'll be using the Span Plus. And the thing you need to do is go right here, Session Bank, and mid and side stereo. Now let's take a listen. As you can clearly tell, it's out of phase, and even on the correction meter, it's bouncing left to right. So how do we correct this into a proper stereo? You want to grab any EQ that can do side information. And for this one, I'll be using the Pro Q3. Let's open it up. And now we need to analyze where the starting point is of the phasing out. I would say around the 200 meters. So now I'm going to go to the EQ and type in 200. Next, you want to go right here and switch this to side, and then switch the curve into a high shelf. And now we're going to bring down the gain while we're looking at the analyzer. Now it is in a proper stereo and it is not phasing out anymore. Example 2 will be almost doing the same thing. The only difference is we'll be taking the source of the sound. And the way we can figure this out is, for example, on Serum, we can go to the effects rack and take off all the effects and see if the sound is still phasing out. And that it's not the actual effects that are causing the phase out. Let's see. So we can clearly see it's still phased out even with the effects turned off. So that means that the effects are technically actually enhancing the phasing out. But how do we correct this? Same thing. We grab a Pro EQ3 or any EQ that does side information. And now let's see where the starting source is. Around 307 for the first point. And then we're going to switch this to side. And now switch this to a low shelf instead. Let's find the second point. Around 678. And now this one will be a high shelf. Now let's decrease this by the gain knob. As you can see, now it's in the proper stereo. But how do we get those effects back? Well, luckily with Serum, there actually is a VST side for Serum effects. And the way you want to do this to get your effects back is basically add them back on. Right click on any of the effects and then say save effect chain. And I already have it right here. So now let's turn these back off. And now let's open Serum Effects. And all you want to do is right click, load effect chain, and there they are. And now all you want to do now is turn it back on and increase the volume if that is needed. And that's how you do it for the example 2. Now, in my personal opinion, I think example 1 sounds better. But for certain instances, you may need to do it for example 2, depending on the sound. It may actually, if you do that for your certain sounds, they actually may sound cleaner. But for this instance, I want a more gritty sound, so I would go with example 1. But those are the two examples of how to turn a phased out VST into a proper stereo.